There is a version of you that nobody has met yet. Not your parents, not your closest friends, not the people who love you most, not even you, not fully. This version doesn't apologize for taking up space. This version doesn't shrink in rooms where smaller people need you to be smaller to feel comfortable. This version doesn't wait for permission, for validation, for the right moment, for someone to finally recognize what has been there all along. This version is disciplined when no one is watching, focused when everything around them is designed to distract, calm in the exact moments when everyone else is losing themselves to emotion, unmoved by the opinions of people who have never attempted anything worth attempting. The Stoics had a word for this version of a person. They called it the sage, the fully realized human being, the person who has done the relentless inner work of eliminating everything weak, everything false, everything that was built for someone else's approval. And what remains is something the world cannot touch, cannot manipulate, cannot diminish, cannot stop. Marcus Aurelius called this version of a human being, like a rock that the waves crash against repeatedly, it stands firm, and the raging waves settle around it. A rock, not because it is cold, not because it feels nothing, but because it has been shaped by every wave that ever hit it into something that the sea itself cannot move. That is what we are building today. Not a performance of strength, actual strength, not the appearance of discipline, the real thing. Not dangerous in the way that threatens others, but dangerous in the way that threatens everything that has ever tried to limit you. 8 principles, each one a weapon, each one forged from the deepest teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, men who faced war, slavery, exile, and empire, and emerged not destroyed, but refined. Stay with me, because the person who finishes this video will not see themselves the same way again. Before you can become dangerous to the world, you must first become dangerous to the part of yourself that makes excuses. That part is sophisticated. It doesn't sound like weakness. It sounds like reason. Now isn't the right time. I'll start when things settle down. I need to prepare more before I begin. People like me don't get to have lives like that. These are not reasons. They are armor. Armor that the undeveloped self has constructed over years to protect itself from the risk of trying and the possibility of failure. And the armor works. It keeps you safe. Safe from failure. Safe from judgment. Safe from the discomfort of attempting something you might not immediately master. But it also keeps you from everything else. From growth. From the life that is waiting on the other side of your best excuse. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Let that land. You could leave life right now." Which means, the excuse you are saving for the right moment. That right moment is not guaranteed. The time you are waiting for to finally begin is not promised. The version of yourself you keep planning to become when conditions improve. Conditions do not improve on their own. They are improved by the person who refused to wait for improvement. Epictetus was brutally direct. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. First say, then do. Not first wait. Not first prepare indefinitely. Not first make sure it's the right time and all conditions are favorable. First say, then do. The most dangerous version of yourself is not the one who has eliminated all obstacles. It is the one who has eliminated the voice that calls obstacles reasons to stop. Start today, not perfectly, not completely, not with certainty, but dangerously, with the energy of someone who has decided that the excuse, however sophisticated, is no longer welcome in their inner world. Every battle you will ever fight, every obstacle, every adversary, every setback, every moment that tests what you are made of, will be won or lost before it is ever fought. It will be won or lost in here, in the mind, in the quality of your thinking, in the discipline of your attention, in the strength of your inner narrative when reality pushes back against your intentions. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than any emperor who ever lived. He wrote, privately, in words meant only for his own training, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. The quality of your thoughts. Not the quality of your circumstances. Not the quality of what you were given. Not the quality of what people said about you or did to you. The quality of your thoughts." Which means, A person with difficult circumstances and excellent thoughts will outperform a person with excellent circumstances and poor thoughts every single time. This is the most democratizing truth in all of philosophy. The playing field of the mind is the one field where birthright wealth and privilege cannot guarantee victory, because the mind that is trained, that is disciplined to observe rather than react, to choose rather than default, to hold its quality under maximum pressure, that mind is available to anyone willing to do the training. And the training is specific. Seneca wrote, "Retire each day for a little while. In the time set aside, examine yourself carefully and note what you have done and what remains to be done." Daily examination, not weekly, not new feely like it, not when things go wrong. Daily, every morning, before the world makes its demands. Set the quality of your thinking. What kind of mind do you want to bring to this day? What thoughts are you choosing to operate from? What narrative are you refusing to entertain? Every evening, before you sleep, examine the day. Where did the mind perform well? Where did it default to old patterns? Where did reaction replace choice? This practice, repeated, creates a mind that has been trained on its own territory, that knows itself, that cannot be surprised by its own weakness, because it has already mapped that weakness and begun to systematically address it. The most dangerous person in any room is not the loudest, not the largest, not the most aggressive. It is the one whose mind has been trained to operate at its highest level, precisely when everyone else's is falling apart. Begin that training. Today, the world will try to sell you comfort. Every advertisement, every algorithm, every shortcut and hack and life optimization tip, all of it pointing in the same direction. Less discomfort, more ease, faster results, lower effort, and the person who buys all of it, who successfully eliminates most difficulty from their daily experience, is the most fragile person in the room when real difficulty arrives, because it always arrives. Life does not negotiate with your comfort preferences. It does not check whether you are ready before it sends the hardest seasons. The question is not whether difficulty is coming. The question is, what kind of person do you want to be when it does? Marcus Aurelius, who lost children, fought wars he didn't start, ruled a crumbling empire and watched betrayal come from people he trusted, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. What stands in the way becomes the way. Not an obstacle to the path itself. The difficulty you are trying to root around is the exact terrain your character needs to cross to become what it is capable of." The Stoics practiced what they called ascesis, voluntary hardship, the deliberate choosing of discomfort when comfort is available, cold when warmth exists, fasting when food is present, silence when speech is easy, hard floor when soft bed is available, not as punishment, as training. Because the nervous system that has never experienced discomfort is terrorized by it when it arrives. But the nervous system that has been deliberately exposed, that has sat with discomfort, remained functional through it, chosen response over reaction in the middle of it, recognizes it when it comes uninvited. I know this feeling, I have been here before. I remained myself last time, I will remain myself now. That recognition, that cellular knowledge that discomfort cannot destroy you, is what makes you dangerous, not to others, to every limitation that has ever tried to use your discomfort avoidance as a ceiling. Seek difficulty today. Not recklessly, but deliberately. Find the thing you have been avoiding because it is uncomfortable, and walk toward it. Let it be your training, because every difficulty you voluntarily face today reduces the power of every difficulty that arrives uninvited tomorrow. There is a misunderstanding about what it means to be emotionally strong that has cost countless people their greatest relationships, their most important decisions, and their deepest growth. The misunderstanding is this: that strength means not feeling, that the dangerous person, the powerful person, the one who cannot be moved, has achieved their power by shutting down their emotional life, by becoming cold, by becoming indifferent, by building walls thick enough that nothing gets in. But this is not strength. This is a different kind of fragility. The person who cannot feel is not powerful. They are simply numb. And numb is not the same as strong. Numb doesn't choose. Strong chooses. The Stoics were clear about this distinction. Marcus Aurelius felt deeply. He grieved the deaths of his children. He felt the weight of betrayal. He experienced fear, disappointment, exhaustion, and uncertainty. And he wrote about all of it, honestly, in his private journal. What made him extraordinary was not the absence of feeling. It was the presence of choice in the middle of feeling. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Power over the mind, not the elimination of experience. The power to choose in the space between what is felt and what is done, how to respond." Epictetus described it this way: between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space, that pause, that moment between what hits you and what you do next is where the most dangerous version of yourself lives. Not in the absence of emotion, in the mastery of it. The practice is specific. When you feel something intensely, pause, name it. There is anger rising, there is fear present, there is hurt in this moment. The act of naming moves the emotion from the automatic brain to the observing brain, from something happening to you to something you are watching. And from the position of the watcher, you have options. You can choose whether this emotion becomes your response. You can choose what it means. You can choose who you are in the middle of feeling it. That is emotional sovereignty, not coldness. Sovereignty. The most dangerous person in any conversation, in any conflict, in any high-stakes moment, is the one who feels everything and is controlled by nothing. Here is a pattern that undermines more potential than almost anything else on this list. The announcement before the achievement, the post before the work is done, the declaration of the goal before the first day of actual pursuit, the sharing of the plan before a single brick has been laid, and the psychological research is clear on what happens next. The announcement provides the same neurological reward as the achievement. The brain releases dopamine for telling people you're going to do something, and that dopamine reduces the drive to actually do it. You have been rewarded for the declaration. The work now feels optional. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled the world's most powerful empire and wrote about it in a private journal he never published, understood this intuitively. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, not announce one, not plan to be one, not share with everyone your intention of becoming one. Be one, in private, in the work, in the daily commitment that no one sees, and that doesn't require an audience to be real." Seneca wrote, "Let your acts correspond to your words. Nay, let them precede them. Let the acts come first, before the words, before the announcement, before the declaration, before the sharing, the acts first. And then, when the results exist, when the transformation is real, when the work is done, the results announce themselves, without you saying anything, without you needing to perform what you have become. Because what you have built in silence speaks in a language that cannot be faked, cannot be performed, and cannot be argued with. Results. The most dangerous version of yourself is the one who works in silence, who requires no audience for the building, who is not building for the announcement, but for what the building actually produces. That discipline, the discipline of silent work, is rarer than talent, rarer than intelligence, rarer than opportunity, and it is available to anyone willing to stop performing and start building. There is a quality shared by every truly powerful person in the history of human civilization. It is not talent, it is not intelligence, it is not even discipline, though discipline matters enormously. It is clarity, absolute, non-negotiable, publicly tested clarity about what they will and will not compromise, about what is available for negotiation and what is not, about where their line is, and what happens when that line is crossed. This clarity is not arrogance, it is the foundation of everything. Because a person without clear non-negotiables is a person who can be moved in any direction by sufficient pressure. And the world, people, circumstances, temptation will always apply pressure. It is constant. The only question is whether you have built something inside yourself that the pressure cannot move. Epictetus called this the prohairesis, the will, the irreducible core of who you are that chooses, always, regardless of external circumstance. He said, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." The tranquility comes from the clarity. When you know what you will not compromise, when that knowing has been tested and has held, you stop being afraid of pressure. Because you know how it ends. They push, you hold. They discover your line is real. They adjust, or they leave. And both outcomes are acceptable to the person who has done this work. Here is the practice. Take time today to write down 3 things you will not compromise. Not preferences, not ideals, non-negotiables. The values that define the minimum threshold of who you will allow yourself to be. The lines that, if crossed, mean you have lost yourself in the transaction. Write them down. Internalize them. Test them in small moments first. And watch what happens to your presence when people begin to feel, without you saying anything, that there are parts of you that are simply not available for negotiation. That is presence. That is what real power feels like from the outside, not domination, clarity. This is the principle that separates the people who eventually become their most dangerous selves from the people who spend their lives recovering from things they were never meant to recover from, in the way they've been trying. Here it is. Every loss is building material, not metaphorically, literally. The relationship that ended built something. The opportunity that collapsed built something. The failure that humiliated you built something. The person who betrayed you built something. The season that broke you open built something. Not despite those things, because of them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, and this is perhaps the most important line he ever put to paper: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." And then Ryan Holiday extracted the principle at the core of this. The obstacle is the way, not a detour from the way, not a pause in the way, not an unfortunate interruption of the way itself. The philosophy here is not about pretending loss doesn't hurt. It hurts deeply, genuinely, sometimes for a long time. The Stoic approach is not toxic positivity. It is something more radical. It is the decision, made in the middle of real pain, to refuse to let the loss have the final word about what you become, to look at what was taken and ask, what is this building in me that nothing else could build? What capacity is being forged in this exact fire that I will need for what is coming? If I allow this to make me more, rather than less, what does more look like? Joseph knew this. He didn't choose the pit or the prison, but he chose, in the pit and the prison, what those places would build. And what they built was the exact person capable of governing Egypt. Your losses are not random. They are curriculum. For a version of you that cannot be built any other way. Let them build it. We arrive at the 8th principle, and it is the one that makes all the others urgent. The one that removes the luxury of indefinite postponement. The one that the Stoics returned to more than any other, because they understood that without it, all the other principles remain theoretical. Nice ideas for a future version of yourself that never quite arrives. The Stoics practiced daily what they called memento mori. Remember that you will die, not as morbid fixation, not as pessimism, as the most clarifying truth available to a human being. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. Now take what's left, not when things improve, not when you feel ready, not when the right conditions arrive, now, with what is left, however much or little that is." He also wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Never beginning to live, that is the real danger. Not the end, the unlived middle, the years spent performing instead of being. The decades spent waiting for permission that was always yours to give. The lifetime of holding back the most dangerous version of yourself. Dangerous to your limitations, dangerous to your excuses, dangerous to the smallness that other people needed you to maintain. Holding it back out of fear, out of habit, out of the quiet assumption that there is always more time. There is always more time, until there isn't. And the Stoic, the person who has done this work, doesn't wait for the end to motivate the beginning. They use the awareness of the end, today, now, to make the next hour count in a way it would not have counted without that awareness. The most dangerous version of yourself is not far away. It is not in some future when you have more of what you currently lack. It is one decision away. The decision to stop performing and start being. The decision to stop waiting and start building. The decision to stop letting other people's comfort determine the ceiling of your own becoming. The decision, made right now, in this moment, to treat this version of your life, with this much time left, as if it matters completely. Because it does. Because you do. And because the version of yourself the world has not yet met, the rock that the waves crash against, that stands firm, while the raging waves settle around it, is not something you become someday. It is something you choose. Now, 8 principles. Hold them one final time. Become dangerous to your own excuses. Train your mind like the most important battlefield. Embrace difficulty as your greatest ally. Master emotional sovereignty. Feel everything. Be controlled by nothing. Build in silence. Let the results announce themselves. Become absolutely clear on what you will not compromise. Let every loss make you more, not less, and live right now, as if this is the final version. Because it might be. Marcus Aurelius didn't write the meditations to be published. He wrote them for himself, as a daily practice of becoming the most dangerous version of himself, dangerous to his own weakness, his own excuses, his own temptation to be less than what he knew he was capable of. And from that private, daily, unannounced commitment emerged one of the most extraordinary human lives ever recorded. That same commitment is available to you. Not his circumstances, not his title, not his army, his commitment. The daily return to the work of becoming. Start today, in silence, with discipline, without announcement, and trust that what you are building in the quiet will one day speak in a language the world cannot ignore. Thank you for being here. You are part of Stoic Journal, where every step inward leads you forward. Watch the next video on your screen. We will be right here, building the silence that holds real power.